Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Friday Night Funkin' reaction. Today we have one that's apparently by the same group, but not the same person that did that Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared one that I listened to probably about a month or so ago. Time is a Flat Circle. I don't even remember, but apparently this one is done by the same group, but it's for the Friday Night Funkin' weekly mod, so that it gives me enough context to understand roughly what's going on here, albeit I do not understand why Mr. Boss is here, and I was told by Devent and my executive producer, the one who requested this, that they were not going to tell me, so I get no clarification there. They also did give me a video and also the original song. I did like preview like 4 seconds of both, and the official upload has much higher fidelity, so I am just gonna listen to this one. And sorry, I know that the video is there. I did scrub through it and it just seems like it's Mr. Boss moving around, you know, so it's just like, okay, I know the visuals of FNF, I'm not too concerned about that, but I want the higher quality so I can notice more details if applicable. And without further ado, let's go. I should probably watch the video after this, just in case there is context I miss. Okay, wait a second. This went so much harder, so much quicker than I was expecting it to. Like, very little build-up, it was just there. God, that quality is still there. Like, obviously, I wouldn't be able to tell you if it was the same group if I wasn't told, but 2 for 2, they make high quality shit. Okay, that got very sinister very quickly. This type of stuff is where I'm sure the gameplay video would come in handy. It kicks right back in, okay. I'm definitely gonna have to watch the video now, just to see what's going on. I love this melody. It's fantastic. This is so well done. That's like the main reason I'm grooving so hard. That is such a good melody. I can't stop geeking out about that. Oh.
This is not how this story ends. I won't let it end like this.
Sorry, bro.
I set foot on this set. You've been here too, and I'm sick of it. I should have done this a long time ago. Inch by inch, day by day, disproportionately weigh our realities of baffling pose haste to step away. Week by week, full control. Destiny now takes its toll. Tweaking bosses, lines he crosses. What the fuck was it all for? Now I gotta wager thousands. My reputation dragged through countless
Damn.
rounds. Now I can see what's happened from the friends and fellas, buds and bloods.
I'm at least going to need to check that part of the video out. They really do a good job in this group. They really do. 2 might be a small sample size, but it's enough to start showing consistency. Damn. 2 for 2 again. I gotta say it. They really do a good job here. Okay, so I did watch the video, and yeah, there was a little bit of detail there. For example, the very start of it showing what was going on there. Pieced together at least what I could off of that. Obviously, I don't have the rest of the story, so I'm not positive. But it seems like Mr. Boss in this scenario is like an insane motherfucker. And it's just like, hey, I'm going to blow up your building in the name of business. Good old friendly competition, evil laugh here. And I'm sure that's probably close enough for me to be able to piece together the rest. I don't know who the other person is that came in who did the vocal solo in this one. I don't know what that character is. I don't know what they're from, if they're just like a mod specific character maybe, but I like the approach of having that moment be this huge pivotal bit, and I like the phrasing of it too, because it was very like just barely corporate speak. It was kind of on this line of like, okay, where are we going with this? We wanted to make sure that this is language that Mr. Boss would understand in the context, but also be fucking fire for what it's worth. And they did that. There's a lot going on with this song musically, way more than I expected. For one, I'm wondering if this composer doesn't have some affinity for, like, I would say pop punk, emo rock stuff, like alt rock, because it has a lot of that quality to how it's handling the chords, and I like what it was doing for the chords in order to tell the story. So this isn't something that happens normally when I talk about music that has like a story, a narrative through it, because this song kind of turns that on its head a little bit, at least compared to what the expectation of these moments are. So what we have here is the E flat minor, a C flat, or also a B, depending on who you are, an A flat minor, and a B flat minor. Now, the B flat minor does sometimes go up to resolve in the B flat, and that's kind of cool too, because it just changes just enough to make the entire passage there feel a little bit more like there's just a period there at the end instead of a comma or a second thought coming afterwards. And that's not everything that happens in this song, but that is the chord progression for the motif of the main character or the player character in this way, where it feels surprisingly downtrodden, it feels broken, which kind of fits perfectly for the whole situation of being the one who was just the victim of Mr. Boss's bullshit in the scenario. Again, I don't know why, like, this is all happening, of course. I don't have that context to go off of, but I can build enough off of just that essence and that feeling there. You are now in this, still holding on to hope, but you're not necessarily in charge. And I think that is the coolest distinction here, that they put the main character musically in the negative space of this song. Because later on, when we get the part that's supposed to be a little bit more of like Mr. Boss's scenario being the one in charge and having a lot more of that flavor in it, we get a different set of chords at that time that feels a little bit brighter and a little bit more hopeful, stronger, so to speak. We get a D flat minor, a C flat, that comes back around. That's kind of the chord that connects everything together here. A G flat minor, and an F flat, which is the same as an E. So we have you can feel just through that pattern alone that it's brighter, it's more consistent, it's a little bit happier, and it's more profound. It has a lot more of a strong chord progression going on here compared to the first one being a lot weaker. It might seem like nothing to a lot of people who are hearing those two and just going like, whoa, they just sound like chord progressions. Emotionally, these are built very differently, and that's why I love this so much. And again, that's why I love that they switched this up, because usually the main character, the one with all of the power in the scenario, would have those chords, but they give that to the villain in the scenario for this one. And you could argue that's something they do for a lot of boss fights, like the big scary boss tends to have it, and the underdog hero character usually doesn't have power. The problem here is that they never gave the main character that power at all throughout the song. There was never that full lift of hope. That earlier combination of notes that we had never really ever, like, aside from going and then sometimes going up to the B flat, that was the most like tensive moment, going up to the B flat off the B flat minor. So we never really had a moment that felt like it was truly getting like more energy behind it. There was never a point of like, aha, I get it. I now have the power. I understand it now. That doesn't happen here. The whole time, Mr. Boss has that power in this chord progression, and that is such a cool factor of this. I love that they did that, and also that they have such a high lift drop too. This chord progression specifically might actually sound kind of familiar to some of you. If I'm not mistaken, which I very well could be, it's probably the same chord pattern, if not the exact same chords. Paradise by Coldplay, which is a very positive sounding song. So that's the sort of vibe that this song is giving off. This extremely bright, profound sound. And that's why it sounds so jarring up against that other chord progression, because we have that energy that shifts there, and it's just a different sound entirely. Again, the power dynamic here, the choice of that is insanely strong, and I love what they did there. However, we do get to that point where the other boss, I suppose, comes in to give Mr. Boss a piece of his fucking mind, and boy howdy does that change things up, because it blends all of these together. Everything. There's not really a clear distinction of exactly what. They just pull chords from each of those different motifs and mush them together. So now we're on equal ground. The entire song is kind of sitting there. And when we end the song, we get probably the coolest part to me, is that it ends on such a melancholic chord here. E flat minor, which I believe is the key that we're in for this entire song, but we just end the song with all of it, all at once. Just a nice wash of that. Everything just kind of melds into this. And it's not like a super final chord. It doesn't have any of that power to it. The entire song was like leading you to believe there would be more of like an ending that made sense, that was more solidified because of this giant crescendo that we got near the end. Everything, all the energy kept cranking up. The melody was going, the lead was going insane. Everything was so clear, and at the same time just crushing against each other, with the whole motif thing just bashing and becoming one. And then at the end, they end on literally the most beautiful possible chord, honestly, out of all of those choices, ending it on something that feels like the story isn't done yet. So the "no, we're not done here" thing hits even harder there. I love that approach. I think that, like, narratively, that is probably one of the stronger choices I've heard out of music recently. That's so cool. And it came out of an FNF Weekly song. Like, I hear a lot of music, and a lot of times there are things that shock me, and this is not the first time that something like this has happened. Kind of like I said earlier, it's used a lot of the time for things like the boss being the one in control and the unsung hero, like the underdog, not quite being there yet. But this doesn't just do that. We have a whole moment in this song where the other character steps in and basically says, "Oh, you're right. go fuck yourself, and just creates an entirely new melody, a new structure on this song that then puts them more at level with Mr. Boss and everything. And this is so neat to me. I know I'm just kind of stumbling over myself and like yapping about that a lot, but it is easily the coolest part of this song. This entire thing was beautiful, but I love that approach to it. Starting softer, broken, having the chord progression reflect that, never really getting out of that, spending a majority of the song in that energy until it breaks away to that brighter sound that Mr. Boss has. And you're like, why the hell is he so happy? Why does he get that motif? Why is he the one in that control and have that power? And it continues to move beyond that when the other character steps in and levels the playing field. That is so neat musically. I love that so much. Narratively, it's fantastic. Musically, it's fantastic. They did a really, really good job on this one, and that's why I've been yapping about it for so long. But I do think I'll stop yapping about it here. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee something, much like D-Vent did for this one, you can always go to my Patreon, and if the tier is open, you can guarantee something that way. It doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. It's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!